I'm Giacomo Tonini, staff writer at Forbes, and joining me today to talk about his unique journey from refugee to Albania's first billionaire is Samir Mane, founder and president of the Belfin Group. Hello, Samir. Thanks for taking the time today, and how are you?
Hello, fine. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So first off, I wanted to ask you if you could tell us a little bit about your upbringing. I know you came of age in a tumultuous time in Albania in the 1980s, and then decided to leave Albania in 1991. So could you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, I born in the south city of Albania. I studied geology in Tirana University for 4.5 years. 1991, I escaped the country and I went to Austria. So I started Austria, the University of Geology. So I started for 1 year University of Vienna. And after that, in 1992, I started my own business. End of 1992 and beginning of 1993. So that is the short time that I studied University in Vienna. But basically, I escaped the communist country 1991. And 1992, I started my business by selling consumer electronic on a very small scale, like selling a radio recorder, a video recorder at the time, by sending 10 pieces, 20 pieces, and then slowly, more and more in Albania, which at the time was very empty with this kind of product, because television in communist time was almost not allowed, actually. So only one television 100 family at that time have been in Albania. So that is the reason why the market was completely empty, and that I used this opportunity to send in Albania radio recorder, television, and then slowly I started with other countries.
Mm-hmm. And how was that shift, sort of going from Albania at that time to Austria, and sort of, transitioning to a completely different country and then starting your business?
Well, the only one funny story at the time when I arrived in Austria is that I never eat banana in my till years. I didn't know what is banana. I never eat banana. When I arrived first in Austria, I got a banana, and because Albania at that time was not even possible important to get a banana. For sure, was completely different from the country that was even not possible to think, and was not allowed to think. We got in the country which is very open and democratic and many things. So yes, was shocked when I arrived in Austria as a refugee. I got treatment from the authority of Austria, and then I got their help to get a small apartment together with other refugees. So that is the story. But yes, it was a completely different world for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how did you initially sort of make ends meet and get into the business of selling those refrigerators and radios to Albania? Like, how did that start?
Well, I knew that demand was there because, as I told you, 1 in 100 family have a television, and some Albanian businessmen came at that time to Austria, because Austria or Vienna at the time was the center for Eastern Europe for selling consumer electronics, and they're buying. So I translate for them to some of the suppliers, and then suppliers slowly give it to me a little bit more quantity. So if I load for them 100 television, they give me 20. I sold the 20. Then I got more and more and more. But that is the only one business that I did it for many years, and I'm still doing after 32 years. We have offices everywhere. We'll sell a lot of hundreds of millions of product, but that is originally business how we started. And because there was Albania, and then I started North Macedonia, then to Serbia, then Montenegro. So in all the regions, then by selling consumer electronics.
Mm-hmm. Because I know that in those years you were also sort of doing some currency trading as well, but the electronics business was the one that really took off and set the stage for everything, right? And then could you tell me a bit more about sort of how you then transitioned to setting up Neptune, and sort of what was the inspiration for that, the sort of the chain of electronics stores, sort of how you built up to that?
So basically, in the beginning, we sold the product from the trucks, so we didn't know what a store. We never had a store. And from the trucks, we sell it all the truck in 3 hours. And then again, we got another truck coming from Vienna. So that was the story. At that time, I saw that by living in Austria, I saw that it was possible to sell the product in the proper way in the shops. So we rented the shop, and so we started with the Neptune. In fact, we, copy a little bit from the Western standard of the shops, and we created our brand Neptune. And Neptune is one of the strongest brands of consumer electronics in this part of the world.
And I know when we last spoke, you had mentioned sort of you had also read books on retail by the Waltons and Walmart and sort of looked at other firms, but you obviously already had an entrepreneurial spirit. So I guess what sort of the biggest lessons you drew from those, and how did you sort of take your own entrepreneurial skills and apply it to that?
Yeah, by reading books for sure helped me a lot, especially when I read the Walmart history. And during this book, I saw that in many phrases he say that I never find something. I just copy on the better way. So exactly the same we did. So we saw a nice shop in Austria, and then we tried to do it the same way in Albania. So basically, the same product, the same merchandising, the same everything. So that is the way how we did it. We copy on the better way, but the market demand was much higher here. So, and the margin at the time was, well, I can say 200%, 150%, 200% on the product. So that's why was very fast growing this kind of product and this kind of business.
Mm-hmm. And then I know you moved to Albania, back to Albania in 2002, I believe, right? Full time. And
in fact, I moved to Albania in 2003, but temporary. But fixed time I moved 2005. When I decided to open my shopping mall, when I decided to open my shopping mall in Albania, there was a story actually that I wanted to open a store. So I thought that, okay, I cannot do it from Austria. Then I got all my family back. And I said that, okay, after 14 years living in Austria, beautiful place, nice in Vienna, we need to come back to our country because I cannot follow the business of shopping mall from Vienna. So I came here and I decided to do the small shopping mall. But I forgot that the shopping mall cannot function without a grocery store, which at the time very important. So I went to all Europe big companies to tell them, please come in Albania and join us in a supermarket chain or on a grocery store. But nobody at the time was happy, and nobody at the time thinking that that was possible that they can come and operate in Albania grocery store. So I decided to do myself. I got a French guy from Carrefour, and he helped me to create a supermarket chain or a grocery store, as I say. And for the first time, Albanian, the biggest grocery store at the time when I opened 2005 was 500 square meters. And I opened a 5,000 square meters store, which is much, much bigger. And for the first time, Albanians saw 20,000 products in their shelves, so they can see, they can touch the product and see the price. So there was a big revolution at the time. In fact, nobody was optimistic about my initiative, including my father and everybody in the city, banks, big fours, all of them that I went to present the business plan and to show what I'm going to do. Everybody was unhappy, and they say, "Sorry, Mr. Mane, you are going to lose money. Why the people should come in the highway and buy tomatoes when they have it next door?" So, but I decided to do it. That was a big risk. At that time, I risked all my money in these initiatives. I can say 95% of the people that I met say, "Sorry, you are going to lose all your money. Why do shopping mall?" But I did it. And the reason why I did it is, because in all other countries, neighbor Albania, shopping malls running very well. We have the same culture. We have the same consumer habits. So I thought, okay, let's try. If I lose all my money, okay, I go back to Austria and I work as engineer. But in fact, when on the first day when I opened my shopping mall, was more than 100,000 people waiting to go on the shopping mall. And really, from the picture of the time, was the highway was completely blocked for more than 4 hours. So that was a very good success. And then at that time, I decided, okay, that is my business of the future. And then I start doing malls in Albania, tag, and I do another mall in the North Macedonia. I did the biggest mall in North Macedonia.
And you mentioned before that obviously when you were opening QTU, the first mall, sort of no one wanted to, give you funding or loans. So you financed it all sort of with your own money from the previous business. After that, it seems like with your success, then you were able to work more with other partners, right, to finance the other malls, right?
Yes. So after the first mall I got some credit from the American company at the time. They give me a part of the funding, but when I opened all other malls, then all the banks they're ready to support. European Bank, EBRD, all the banks they support us on creating other malls. Because it was really a good opportunity. So.
And then after all the success in retail, when did you start moving into other industries? So moving into real estate, construction, and I know then you got into banking as well. When did you start sort of to diversify away from retail?
Well, in fact, by reading a lot of books for sure, they come to the idea, especially by reading Jack Welch, that his beautiful book Winning, say that you need to be set, you need to be diversified on the business and diversified geographically. So Albania for us was small, and then we thought, okay, why not to go to other countries, and why not to other industries? And then we went also to other industries like real estate and retail. Real estate by doing villas and apartments. It's a good business. It's especially Albanian tourism is going to be the country. So I still believe that we have a great potential in tourism, and we are developing quite intensively on the tourism industry, like hotels. Now, 1st of June, we are opening the hotel. Later, we have a Marriott license as well. So we are building villas, apartments, and affordable housing in Tirana, especially a very big project called University, 4,800 apartments that we do it in Tirana. So yes, this one was an opportunity, and that's why we are in this business. But now we are expanding this real estate business in other countries as well as in other portfolios as well. So
obviously, there's now been a lot of recently investment and interest in Albania from foreign investors. There's Jared Kushner in southern Albania, and also Mohammed Al-Abbar of Imar. Why do you think there has been so much interest from foreign investors on the Albanian coast specifically for these sort of large developments?
Geographically, we have very good. So basically, you can Tirana, 55 minutes from Rome, 45 minutes, 1 hour from Istanbul, and 1 hour 10 minutes from Vienna, on the whole biggest empire city. So yes, the geographically is very good. The labor is still cheap, actually. I mean, on terms of service and everything. And basically, it's the only one undeveloped tourism in the Mediterranean. Still, so far we developed only 50% of the cost, and much more to come for sure. Much more is needed to be protected, but also much more is going to be developed. Yes, good names or big are like Kushner and Mohammed Al-Abbar coming to invest in the country. So far, we get excellent advertising from them, and that it's good for the country actually if they do the project.
And do you think there'll be enough demand even with all these projects? Because obviously, it's next to Croatia and Greece and other countries, like you said, that are already much more developed in tourism. How have sort of the sales been going so far for your projects? And are you confident that, there will be enough tourism and demand coming in for all the projects being built, including yours?
On the other side, especially Italy, it's a very good, it's a very possible client of us because it's very near first, and second is that many Albanians speak Italian. Many of us speak Albanian, so it's very convenient for the Italian to come and to live in Albania. Some of them make holidays, so I'm optimistic that tourism is going to be a good opportunity at least for 10 years from now.
And then I know that recently you've started sort of expanding beyond the Western Balkans as well, investing in real estate in the US and Canada and Austria. Why did you decide to sort of move beyond, the rest of your business, right, is Albania, North Macedonia, Bosnia, Serbia, Kosovo, sort of that region. how did you think about expanding further out, and Montenegro as well? Sorry, how did you think about expanding further out as well?
Well, we see opportunities. Actually, we see that our administration and financial capacity is okay, and for sure, we are working in the good territories, in quite stable countries actually. But for sure, America, Canada, and other countries are much stable than us. So, investing some part of our business in this part of the world is also good for the diversification and using the opportunity that we have. And we are not in a hurry. We are having good project in US. We are having good project in Canada. We are having excellent project in Austria. But we choose only the one that we can. So basically, we are not going on other industries besides real estate in these countries. We stay only with the real estate, and we don't. The other business, retail, banking, we stay in the region, and with the real estate, we go a little bit more further. So, like US and Canada and Austria, especially.
Mm-hmm. And now that Belfin sort of is a large successful conglomerate, is sort of the largest revenue driver, the largest part of the business still retail versus real estate? What's sort of the breakdown now of the conglomerate as a whole?
In terms of profitability, it's real estate. In terms of revenues, it's retail. So this year we reached for the first time 1 billion euro revenues, and mostly it's retail. So, and for sure we are negotiating now because we are the biggest retailer, to say open, in the Western Balkans. And now we are getting more and more brands. So we are just in the need of signing with a Danish brand for 7 countries. And we are discussing with a company also for 6 countries distribution. So basically, now we are not an Albanian company. We are a Balkan company. And if we ask for something for distribution right, we don't ask anymore for Albania or for Kosovo or Macedonia. We ask for 6 countries. And we saw that many of the big companies, they're happy with that because they don't want to have many partners. They have one partner who understand them, who have the financial capacity, who have the administrative capacity to develop their business in this part of the world. So we see that now a lot of companies coming to us and say, okay, why you don't get for all 6 countries?
And obviously, in the time that you've been running the retail business, the economies of these countries have grown quite a lot, right? From the late 90s, early 2000s to now across the region. Are you still sort of very optimistic that the economic growth is going to continue in Albania and these other countries?
Well, I'm very optimistic that the economy is going to continue like that. All countries want to join the European community. Albania, Macedonia, and Montenegro are very near to join. When I say very near, hopefully 2027 we finish the negotiation. 2030 we are a member of European community. So basically, so far we are enjoying part of the benefit being in this part of the world. But I'm sure that 2030 we are going to be and feel European. In fact, we are European. We feel European. We have the same way of living, and we live in this part of the world. So basically, it's going to be it's a process now that we join the European community.
And joining the EU, I imagine, will also make it sort of a more stable business environment, perhaps, as well, in these countries. Sort of similar regulations, similar ways of doing business, I guess, at that point.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. And some of the offices we have it in headquarters. We have it in North Macedonia. Now we are going to create a head office for another business in Serbia. So basically, not necessarily all of them are in Albania, but we distribute the head office of these businesses depend on the countries and depend on the many other factors actually.
Mm-hmm. And what advice would you give to sort of other, to young entrepreneurs in Albania and the Western Balkans on how to build their own business?
Well, the opportunities are here. The market is here. They just need to make a feasibility study. That sometimes it's not really the case because I am the one who suffered for a feasibility study that said, "Don't do it," and I did it, and I reached here where I am. And but yes, they should have a little bit more risk-taking appetite, and yes, using the opportunity what the market is giving, this part of the world have really brilliant people in terms of entrepreneurship, so they're very entrepreneur oriented, and they do very well in the part of the world, US and Europe, and I'm sure they can do the good things in their own countries as well. I'm one of the examples that from refugee really came back to the country, but after 14 years working in came back and work here and create prosperity here and in the Western Balkans.